It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Hey, today I want to put my salesman's hat on, and I want to talk to the executives that manage the sales managers in the organization. I mean the senior executives, the people with the money, the people paying the bills. I want to talk to you about how you're managing your sales team, or how your sales leaders are managing the sales team, and see if what I'm saying makes any sense. Maybe you can go and ask them some questions, because I got to tell you something. The things I hear out in the marketplace today, it's a little bit disturbing. And I think the reason is this. Let me pull up my slide here. The reason is that I think that we have goals, but we have a very little bit of strategy, and we don't put any research into the strategy that we barely have. In other words, it seems to me there's a whole lot of organizations whose goal is, well, to hit a number. That's it. We got to hit a number. And they'll have these calls. You know, I remember one manufacturer, I don't know if they still do this or not, but they had a call at the end of every single month. I think it was the first Monday the month after. They got all the sales managers on the line. Of course, first they'd beat the hell out of them for what they didn't do the month before. And then they'd ask them all, what are you going to do this next coming month? And the strategy was, go in the CRM and see what leases are up and go sell those customers. We got to upgrade our customers before the competitor does. Even if we got to upgrade them 2 years early, just go get the business. We need money in the tills. Folks, anytime there's a desperation to upgrade customers, that means there's a desperation to add cash flow. It's reality. If there wasn't a desperation to add cash flow, guess what we would be doing? We'd be putting a strategy together based on research, and we would go out into the marketplace trying to differentiate ourselves so we could win more business, more net new business, not this upgrade cycle. So I got to ask everybody a question. Again, this question is for those senior executives that actually manage, the leaders that manage the sales leaders. Are you with me? Here we go. So here's the question. What's the difference between this town here? This is a shot of Nashville. You know, when I left Nashville, there was 39 cranes downtown. This picture here, which is just a section of downtown Nashville, has about 7 or 8. What's the difference between this picture here, this town, and this town here? See, this town, it's got 3 power lines running downtown. Well, I got to tell you something, my friends. It seems to me that a lot of the management style that you hear about, that you see in the marketplace, well, it's the same for both cities. In other words, the same strategy. Let's go upgrade leases, and let's try to get 10% net new. But there's no real strategy, there's no real thought process, and there's no real research behind the strategy that's barely there. Folks, we got to start researching more. I mean, how do we manage a city with 39 or 40 cranes in it the same way we do with a city that's got 3 power lines running down Main Street? But I got to tell you something. Looking from the outside in, you see that management exactly the same. Sure, the CRM's smaller in the small town, and the CRM's bigger in the big town. But shouldn't there be a different strategy to approach those 2 totally different markets? I've been talking a lot about Xerox HP, and some of the comments were, oh, those people in New York don't know what the hell we're doing down here in Georgia. It is not New York City. But then when you look inside those organizations down there in Georgia, well, guess what? Some of these organizations have offices and sales reps in downtown Atlanta, and then they have sales reps in the real rural areas of Georgia. And guess what? Those 2 sales managers, well, guess what they do? They get on the same call, they get the same direction, they get the same beating up, and they get the same aspiration to go out and sell what? Upgrade more leases. Folks, we got to put more research in it. I think our friends over at IDC and some of these analysts, well, they ought to start analyzing cities with cranes and see if there's any parallels there. Folks, all I'm saying is it's 2020. The capabilities of doing research, the capabilities of letting your imagination come to life are greater than they've ever been in the history of mankind. And we still got leaders running these dealerships like it's 1990, the year 2000. We got to shake it up a little bit. I saw a senior leader tell everybody in a post, I'm not going to say who it was, and maybe he'll come on my video and defend himself, but saying how that sales reps ought to be outsourcing to marketing all the content they put on social media. Folks, we have to learn how to engage in the digital world as a sales rep. It is a fundamental skill set required for the future of selling. You think the old feature advantage benefit's going to take you to the next generation? No. By the time the buyer's ready to buy, they already know what the feature is, they already know what the advantage is, and they already know how they're going to benefit from them. The reason they're calling you and the reason they're engaging you is because they met you in the damn digital world. Or they met your competitor there because you were waiting for marketing to come up with some slick to get a customer excited to call you. Could you imagine back in the early 1990s or even the year 2000, if your sales manager came up to the sales team and said, hey, we got a new program, folks. We got some really smart, educated people coming out of marketing. And what we're going to do is they're going to go out in the field in front of you and they're going to start talking to customers and giving them sales content. And when they feel that the customer's ready to buy something, well, then they're going to let you go in and close them. You see how total stupidity and insane that sounds? But that's exactly what we're doing today in the marketplace. We have sales gurus telling people, don't worry about content. Outsource all the content. Folks, it's the emotional impact of content. It's the salesman's ability to imagine an emotional story to tell a prospective buyer. That's what makes it work. It's the language of sales. And the language of sales today is moving to a digital platform. And we have to understand how to engage customers in the intersection between that digital and physical world. So all I'm going to say, and I'll wrap this up, is let's get some research based on 2020 realities. Let's throw away some of the old school books from 1990, 1980, the year 2000, and let's build a strategy to hit our goals that make sense for the year 2020. More importantly, for the year 2025. My friends, I'll end this like I always do. Status quo is the killer of all. It'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo and have a fantastic day. See y'all tomorrow.